Victor Burton here on behalf of the Australian Leadership Project. At the recent CSIRO Data 61 conference, Ted Burton and I were lucky enough to run into Paul Byrne, the National Director, Cyber Attack and Response at Deloitte. Paul was good enough to talk to us about the big questions of Australian leadership.
Tell us your favourite story of Australian leadership.
I think for me, my favourite story would be at a time when I worked at National Australia Bank, and our CISO at the time, David Powell, was working with how does he do leadership and how does he empower all his managers and leaders to be the best they can and get the best out of their staff. I was lucky enough that when I started at National Australia Bank, I got added into a program that they had on leadership. And throughout this program they were talking about tools to be able to have conversations with each other, with staff, how to work through conflict and think about emotional intelligence, and how to empower people to do the best that they can. And I think I was very fortunate in that, and that went for a 3-year period that I got the opportunity, which was an amazing investment in the teams and the staff from a leadership perspective, to the point where it was taken from not just the managers, but down to the analysts, the grads, every staff member within the security team, which allowed everybody to have a common language, to have conversations when they're having conflict or challenges, and understanding the models to work through problems and try to solve things so that they can move away from like a blame culture to a how do we solve this problem culture. And for me, that amount of investment that David did in leadership and within leadership skills within the organisation was incredible. When you've got all these pressures to be able to defend the bank from attacks, strategy pressures, cost pressures, to actually put the amount of time that he put away to allow that program to work, I think was quite a demonstration of his leadership and the way that he was building more leaders, which I think was kind of more important. For me, I found that that's what I've been trying to take into when I'm leading teams, is how do I empower them, how do I get them to work together, and I think he would be my best example within Australian leadership.
Is there anything that strikes you as being unique about Australian style of leadership?
I think I spend a lot of time reading and learning about leadership, and I think for Australia it's about that personality, like that personable piece. It's less so about a hierarchical leadership. It's more about that collaborative leadership, and I think that's one thing where I am in Deloitte is very much about collaboration, and where there's not I'm this level in the organisation, you need to listen to me, but your ideas are valuable. And I think Australia's got a real empowerment of people, that they allow anybody to lead in their own right. They don't need to have a title, they don't need to be given a capability. They can lead in their own space and influence within an organisation.
And thinking about what you've heard today at the Data 61 conference, what are Australians looking for their leaders today?
I think they're looking for a vision. How do we go to that next step? How do we move forward? A confidence that they don't necessarily have all the answers, but they've got a plan moving forward and that they can take people on that journey. And I think that the Data 61 initiative here is about getting the great minds to work together and being in that thought leadership within how to solve some of the hardest problems that we have within Australia.
Well, that's a big thank you to Paul Byrne, a big thank you to CSIRO and Data 61 for bringing us together, a thank you to Ted Burton for taking up the camera work during his school holidays. And if you'd like to share more stories of Australian leadership or read more of our material, please go to our website at www.australianleadership.com. Have a great day.